All right, Harry. You know that sin is common. It's a part of nature. We're born into it. Is there any differences between sin?
Yeah, and the best way to describe it for me is the story back from when Jesus at the Last Supper with his disciples, he told Peter that before the rooster crows tomorrow morning, you're going to deny 3 times that you even know me. And Peter says, not a chance. He says,
Mhm.
because it's I love you. I'll never do that. Matter of fact, he says, I'd rather die than to do that. And the other disciples, it says, said the same thing. They were clear that that just wasn't going to happen. Also, Jesus said to the disciples, he says, one of you will betray me tonight. And everybody says, is that me? And they were really
They were all
concerned.
distraught over it right then and
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And then anyways, it turns out that Judas had the money in his pocket and he had already planned to sell Jesus for 30 pieces of silver to his enemies. And and so they're
What's
both
the difference there between Peter's and Judas there? They're both sinned.
Yeah, both sin, but the big difference is that Judas was intentional. He had the money in his pocket. He had already planned this. He was intending to sin. Whereas Peter was totally clear that was not going to sin, but he did. And we all, on a daily basis, we have that we don't intend to sin. Our intentions have to be holy. I believe that if Jesus says, be you holy as I'm holy, but the only holiness that you and I are going to get, I believe, is our intentions. And if we follow our intentions carefully and aim for holiness, I think we're in a good place. And then I believe that Jesus will forgive our day-to-day shortcomings.
Carelessness, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah, and he understands that and he's accepting of that. But if we have a life that has intentional sin, where we in the morning get up and have sin as part of our recipe for the day, that's not going to go right. And if we're feeling convicted and we know that we're in that situation where we have stuff that just happens daily, where we're watching the wrong stuff or doing the wrong things, and we know we're on the wrong side of sin, and continue to walk into that, we had better find a solution to that, because intentional sin, I believe, is deadly.
Awesome. That was very good. Thank you, Harry.